So I will need to add the 13 inches for the cape length together with the radius. So 13 plus 5 gives me 18, and I'll end the lower part with 1.5 inches. So that is 18 inches plus 1.5 inches. In total, the length of my cape will be 19.5 inches. So now I will be marking 19.5 inches all around my pattern. So I will make sure my measuring tape does not shift from the starting point. So as you can see, I'm moving my measuring tape little by little because the dotted lines must not be too far from each other. So I will make the dotted lines be close as much as possible, so that when I'm connecting the dotted lines together, the shape of my circle will not deform. So I will achieve that round shape. So make sure you are not, so make sure you are calm as much as possible when you are doing this, and don't be in a hurry. So you take your time, mark your dotted lines, make sure they are not too far from each other, so that by the time you are connecting, the shape will look good. So guys, now I have the length of my half circle cape marked all around my pattern. As you can see the dotted lines are not too far from each other, so this will help me to connect this easily. Now I will be making use of my armhole curve ruler in connecting this together, but if you don't have this, just use your free hand, but make sure you connect this smoothly as much as possible. And if you make the dotted lines very close to each other, it will not be difficult to connect them together with your hand. You can see. So I will just go ahead and smoothen this up with my armhole curve ruler. So guys, now I have my dotted lines connected smoothly and clearly, as you can see. So the next step is to work on the upper part, so which is the radius. The radius is the part that will be attached to the neckline area. So I will need to insert my radius from the tip of my pattern as well. Then I will mark it all around just the way I did for the length. But before doing this, I will have to secure my pattern. I will hold it down with my masking tape because this part is very important. The measurement I must get from here must be the same as the neck circumference measurement of the wearer, because this is going together with the broader Sutana neckline area. Okay guys, now I will be marking out the radius. As I said earlier, the radius is the measurement needed in cutting out the neckline area. So for the circle, it is called the radius, but on the bodies of the broader Sutana, it is called the neckline. So the two will be joined together to make a cape elder brother Sutana. A cape elder brother Sutana is a combination of a brother Sutana. The sleeve is going to be a brother Sutana sleeve, but it's going to be with a cape, which can either be a full circle cape or an half circle cape, then together with the center front placket. Unlike the only brother Sutana where the placket is positioned on the shoulder, but for the cape elder brother Sutana, the cape will be positioned at the center front. So now I will be marking out my radius of 5 inches. So I will mark 5 inches all around this part. So I'm marking on 6 inches because I started taking the measurements from the 1 inch point. So when you are doing this, you have to be calm as much as possible as well, because the measurement you'll be getting here is very important. Before you cut out, you must take this measurement and confirm you are correct, because after cutting there is no remedy. Now I have my radius marked out, as you can see. Then I will be connecting this together, then smoothing it up with my curve ruler. Okay, so after doing this, I will need to confirm the measurement I have here. Then I will multiply it by 4. After multiplying it by 4, it must be equal to 16, which is the neck circumference measurement I'm working with. So you need to follow this step. Don't be in a hurry to skip this step. You have to do this because before cutting out your pattern or your fabric, you still have the opportunity of making your adjustments. But after cutting, the adjustment might not be possible anymore. So here I have 4 inches. And because I folded this into 4, that is going to be 4 multiplied by 4, which gives me 16 inches, which is exactly the neck circumference measurement of the wearer. So which means my calculation and my drafting are all correct. That is not all. After doing this, I will need to take this up by 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch is for the seam allowance. So I will just follow the shape I have here, then I will mark 1/2 inch upward. Please take note of this. You are taking this upward. When you take it upward, you are reducing the measurement, but if you take it downward, you are adding to the measurement. So don't make the mistake of adding your seam allowance downward. It has to be upward. So now, as you can see, I have my seam allowance added to the pattern, which I took upward. So after cutting this out, I will cut on the seam allowance. By the time I attach this to the bodice, I will arrive at the 16 inches of the neck circumference measurements. So after doing this, I need to share this important information with you guys. After cutting out your half circle cape, the 2 sides will not be closed. One side will be closed and the other side will be opened, unlike the full circle where we have the 2 sides closed. No opening at all on the full circle. It is just to attach it, then you have it like this. But for the half circle, because of the folding pattern, we are going to have an open on one side. There's going to be an opening on one side, so this opening has to be joined together. So you need extra seam allowance in joining the 2 sides together. If you don't work on this, by the time you close the opening you have by the side, the measurement you have for the neck circumference will reduce. So when you are attaching the cape to the brother sutana, both will not fit. Then what do you need to do? You will need to add the seam allowance. So for both sides, we need 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch on each side. That is 1 inch in total. So which means after cutting out on the radius, apart from the 4 inches which I calculated, we need extra 1 inch. Extra 1 inch. This is folded into 4 places, so the 1 inch will be divided by 4. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to explain. You need 1 inch as seam allowance in joining the opening together. And because this pattern has been folded into 4 places already, I don't need to add the whole 1 inch. I will divide the 1 inch by 4. 1 inch divided by 4 gives me 0.25. So from the seam allowance, not from this point, from the seam allowance I measured upward, I will take this downward by 0.25. So the 0.25 point is the final stage I will be cutting out my pattern. So that is where I will be cutting out. So the 0.25 now falls in between the remeasurement and the same allowance I measured upward. So you can see what I have now. So with this, I've added my seam allowance. If you don't get this, you are free to drop your question at the comment section and I will attend to them all. So guys, now I have this done. With this, our half circle for a Cape Elder Brother Sutana is ready. Then I can proceed in cutting it out. So here I have 3 markings. This is the first one, the second one, and the third one. The third one is the real measurement I inserted, so which is for the exact neck circumference measurement. Then from this point I took it up by half of an inch, which is here. So half of an inch is the seam allowance. This seam allowance is for the neckline area. Then for the opening by the side of the cape, I took this down by quarter of an inch. So by the time I open this up, it's going to be multiplied by 4. So that is 0.25 multiplied by 4, and I will have 1 inch in total. So for this side 1 inch, then for this half of an inch. If you get this calculation correctly, by the time you cut this out and attach to your brother sutana, there is no issue. So guys, we are done. Our half circle cape is ready, and I can proceed in cutting it out. So firstly, I will be cutting on the length of the cape. Then I will cut out the radius. So the cutting is going to be on the middle line. And I have this. After cutting this, is not going to go all round on like the full circle. So you can see the full circle. So I'll be the one to take this together like so, and I will stitch. And this part will be attached all round to the neckline of the brother sutana, but this is not going to be as full as this. So that is the difference. So that will be all for now, guys. Thank you for watching this video to this point. Let's meet in my next video, where I will be showing you how to construct both the half circle and the full circle of a Cape Elder brother sutana. Thank you once again, and I will see you in my next video. Till then, always do remember, there is no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs.